Grüezi YouTubers, here is the guy with a Swiss accent, with a new episode around sensors and microcontrollers.
A new mailbag. All hand checked in Switzerland. It means that it's free of charge. Our limitation for the customs is about 60 Swiss francs is free of duty and free of VAT. And usually these packages anyway are declared only $5 or so, or even a gift. So let's start. I have some of them already prepared, so I don't need my Swiss Army knife too much today. These are very nice power supplies. 3.3 volt, 3 watt, and the input is 100 to 240 volt AC. And 3 watt means 1 ampere. These are well suited for most of the small gadgets. And this one is 5 volt, also 3 watt, a little bit less than 1 ampere, but still okay for many applications. And they are very nicely done, so you have a clear separation between high voltage and low voltage. If you solder it on a PCB, you can clearly separate the dangerous zone from the not dangerous zone. So I quickly want to test out the quality of these power supplies, and people who watch my mailbags know that I got a insulation tester in one of my last videos, and I want to use this now to check out if the insulation between the primary and the secondary is high enough. And because this is the first time I use this device, I just want to check it out quickly. And to do that, I use just an ordinary multimeter, and I connect the 2 wires like that. And now I connected it to these 2 plugs here, and I selected now 250 volt. What I expect is that we will get 250 volt across this, and we will see the resistance of this multimeter shown here in the display. So I press the button test, and we see 250 volt exactly, and here exactly 10 mega ohm. So this multimeter is capable to deal with 250 volt. It's even should be able to deal with 1000 volts, but I will not do that. I will stop at 500 volt. And usually these kind of multimeters have an input resistance of about 10 mega ohms. So I think it's quite spot on. The only issue is that I get minus 250 volt, which is somehow strange. And these 2 probably I have to check. Maybe, yeah, I know why. This is Earth and this is Life. E and L. You see it here. So, RTFM, read the fucking manual. Anyway, now it should be okay. 250 volt. And we have the 250 volt. 500 volt. We have the 497 volt, which is very accurate, and 9.9 mega ohm resistance. Perfect. And now I try to kill this device here. And to do so, I put 1 wire to the secondary and 1 wire to the primary. So I hope you can see it now. So now what I do is I apply 250 volt across the whole power supply. This simulates the worst case that the 220 volt or 110 volt or whatever you have on the primary, that it comes through to the secondary and kills all our circuits. Now I expect very high resistance here between primary and secondary. It should be extremely high, and this is also why I choose not mega ohm but giga ohm. And I start with 250 volt, and now maybe I kill this power supply. No, it survives. Indefinite, very high resistance. So with 500 volt, do the same thing. Again, very high resistance. So there is no danger in this configuration. Of course, I have to do all the other configurations also, but then I'm sure that this device is completely isolated from the primary to the secondary. Next one. These are 5 mm by 5 mm or 50-50, and these are 35 by 35, so they are smaller, but the same principle. And I learned from Charles Lohr that these should have really nice looking yellow color, very special ones. By the way, Charles Lohr has a very good channel, and you find it in my favorites.
Unfortunately, I discovered that there are many different SK6812 Neopixels, and it was not sufficient to just order a bunch of them. The ones I got were just normal Neopixels, like the WS2812B, with only 3 channels, red, green and blue. You get, however, these Neopixels with 4 channels, but also not the ones Charles mentioned. They are RGB and warm or cold white. So I went back to Charles' video and discovered a link where he sells these special RGB yellow Neopixels. They are now in the mail. By the way, you also need a different library to drive these parts. Link is in the description.
The next one is already opened because I had to confirm delivery. Few things I think from Banggood. Two very ordinary Arduino clones. Because I have a young guy helping me out sometimes, and I needed just an ordinary Arduino to give it to him that he can start his hobby a little bit. So normal thing, and I ordered 3 of them. They are dirt cheap. I don't remember how much. And for him I also ordered a housing for the Arduino, an acrylic housing, so it will have a nice look. I peeled now all the protection off, which is quite the work, and I even got a nice manual with it, so I think I will be able to put it together. It says you have to start with board 2 and board 1, but you have many possibilities to put it together, so you have to pay attention. The Arduinos have here 2 holes which are closer than here, and you see also the holes here, and then you know exactly how you have to position it. That is the trick. If you get this done, then the rest will follow. So hours later, no, not really, but it's not easy to put all these small screws in, but now it's nicely looking, and I still have this one, which is spare somehow, but it's nice. He will like it, I think. And this was also in the same package. And this is something quite important. This is to clean the soldering iron, and there are two different sorts to be bought. One are of steel and one is brass. Personally, I do not like at all the steel one, the steel wool. This is also, I think, quite a cheap thing. And I like much more this brass one. And it has to be replaced from time to time because the solder really sticks into it. And I have it here, so I can clean my soldering iron. It's always important that you have it on your desk somewhere. So pay attention that you get the brass one and not the steel one. And this is a gadget, quite an interesting principle. You write something here, or you draw something, and then if you want to erase it, you have here the erasing button. So like that, you write something, I hope you see it, and then press the button and it's away. I'm not sure how this works. It does not look like it has a battery, or at least it is no replaceable battery. But it's a nice thing if you can note, for example, an IP address of your ESP or something like that, or a list you want to do today, and then at the evening, if you did it, you just erase it. And the pen is here. Next one. This is for my solar project, maybe. I ordered a few charging units, and this one is a charging unit, and here you can put a 18650 battery, and then you can charge it here with 5 volts or more, and here you can discharge it, or vice versa. Maybe I can use this for my solar controller, because it obviously should have also a protection and everything for the LiPo battery here. This is a part of a normal power bank. For the next one, I do not need my knife because I already opened it to have a look, and this is a lot of stuff here. Oh, this is not very well packaged. One of them is open, obviously. So a normal Wemos, another Wemos, and I think it should be a third one. 3 Wemos just to stock up my Wemos boards. And these are original Wemos here with a Wemos sign, or at least I hope they are original Wemos. But now there are more interesting things. Here we have a new ESP32 board, and this one has also LiPo charging and everything, and you should be able to connect a LiPo battery here. And this one is another ESP32 board. This one does not have the LiPo charging thing. And then a third one, also an ESP32, but like the Wemos, very small, but I think it's a slightly different format. And by the way, it has 2 buttons here. The next one here is also an ESP32, but this is a Lolin board, and it has also a LiPo support. It seems to be from Wemos, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it's important that it is an ESP32. And you know now what the plan is, I think. I will do an overview about the newest boards in the ESP32 area, and this is the last one in this package. And this seems to be a quite interesting one. Because this one has an OLED display right on the board. It does not have too many pins. This might be a problem in some projects, but if you want to do some data logging or stuff like that, that seems to be an interesting board. That is why it has also the Wemos sign on it. I'm really not sure. So we have now plenty of ESP32 stuff to start with an overview about the new boards. And these are also interesting boards. They are the same. These are signal generators AD9850, and they can produce variable frequencies. And I used one of these in my hack of the garage door opener, and I want to produce an additional opener to be put in my car. I nearly forgot this one. This is an MP3 player and with an SD card, and I might use this to give one of my devices a voice output. Next one. Interesting stuff here, and if we open this one first, this is another ESP32 board, obviously also from Wemos, and this has a 18650 battery which can be put in here, and it has quite a lot of pins here, and of course it needs an on-off switch if you have a battery here, and it seems also to have a charger here with this inductivity and an serial to USB converter. Very nice board. Is also part of the review. Next one. This is a Arduino Shield, but it has a ESP8266 on board, and it is a ESP32 Shield from DoIt, and the purpose of this shield seems to be that you can Wi-Fi enable a normal Arduino board, and I just wanted to try if this works, because sometimes you need more than a few pins and then the Arduinos are better, or also if you need more than only one ADC, then it's also good to use an Arduino, but quite often these days I want to have a connectivity, and so this is probably a good compromise. I think this one belongs also to the last one. It is a shield to the ESP32 we had before. It has also these pins here, and it is called X-Shield. So the format is called X. It's not the Wemos. The Wemos is smaller here. It's not as wide as the X. But we will see. I think I should get also the ground plane for these. And here we have another X-Shield, I think. Yeah. So you see this is a proto board, but it has the same size. It's the same idea of the Wemos shields. You can stack them. The next one is already opened. It is extensions for Raspberry Pi GPIO pins for the header. So I can connect this to the Raspberry and then I can connect this to my project board. The next one also is already open. It's also from Banggood. It is an electrical parameter tester. And what it really is, it measures volt and ampere and also calculates the power. Because I do some experiments with solar panels, I think this can be a nice addition to my electronic load. Of course, it comes with a description, and the description is also in English. I printed now a nice box, put in a 9-volt battery. It should run about 50 hours with this battery here, and the switch, I can switch it on here, and now you see, volt, ampere, and so on. Input, output, voltage sense. I will explain why we need this voltage sense in my video about electronic loads. So let's just check it out. I connect 5 volts to the input and this small electronic USB load to the output. And now we already see the 1 ampere flowing and the voltage sense to the input, for example. Here we have 4.95 volt, 1 ampere, 4 watt, 2 minutes operation. It's 30 degrees, maybe inside the housing, outside it's a little bit less, and it counts here ampere hours and watt hours. And I can reset these watt hours and ampere hours if I press this small button. Now it's 0. This is a very nice device here and it's absolutely worth the money. Will be very handy in my solar panel tests. Next one. This is a BNO 055 chip from Bosch, and this is one of the newer acceleration sensors, and it obviously has also already a microprocessor on the chip, and it should be much easier to read the angles and all the stuff from this one. You do not have to deal with quaternions or whatever to get your self-balancing robot or whatever. I hope I can use this one here for a new version of my self-balancing robot. This is the old version here, which has a quadcopter board here, and for communication it has an NRF 2401, and I would like to build or to rebuild one of these, but with an ESP and with this sensor here and with blink as a remote control. We will see. The next one is also already open. I was not able to resist to open this one. They do not look like spectacular, but I think they are spectacular, and I will show you why. These are in one hand LEDs, and on the other hand they are touch sensors. Very nice new sort of devices in different colors. These two here come from Banggood, and Banggood now, every time I order something I get these stickers here. I have no clue where I should stick them on, but anyway, this is the more important thing. These are two sorts of microphones. USB microphones for my Raspberry Pi, because I want also to start to experiment with voice on the Raspberry Pi. Next one. I think I know what this is. This is the awaited base for these X-Shields. You see here, you can put here one of the boards we saw before, like that. I think it has to do with this one because it looks like it fits, at least from a mechanical point of view, and it fits also somehow with these boards here and with the ESP32 and also with this prototype board. But I think I do not understand completely how it works, but maybe I figure it out till I make my video about the different boards here. And by the way, I just discovered that they solved the issue I had with the Wemos shields. You have switches here. You can select on which pin you want to have your pixels here. I think that is a good idea, because with the Wemos shields it was fixed. Next one. Again, boards for my review. Here another board with a battery compartment and an ESP8266. So this is a similar concept as this one, but this is with the 32 and this is with the 8266. Here we have all the pins for the ESP, and here we have much more pins for the ESP32. And this one here has also a battery, but this is only charging, so this is just a power supply. And the last one in this package is again an X board, also with this nice looking dip switch here and a buzzer. Just a buzzer, and it's called X buzzer. Next one, boards. These are gesture sensors, and they seem to have two holes here. One is, I think, a LED sender, and the other one is a receiver, and they should be able to detect some gestures. We will see. I do not have any plans for them. It's just I thought this is an interesting board, and maybe I just play around a little bit.
Finally, we reached the end of this huge mailbag. It was probably the longest episode of this channel. Please comment if you were hard enough and persevered till here. I hope this episode was useful or at least interesting for you. If true, then like. Bye!